All right, guys, welcome back to the shop. Here's a quick one for you. I'll try to keep it quick anyways. Flat tappet lifters. We try so hard not to use flat tappet lifters anymore. I'm sure there's guys in the comments and guys on Facebook that say they've been building motors for 90 fucking years of flat tappet lifters and never had a problem. They use some special recipe of shit in the oil and they do this and they get the Pope to bless it and all this kind of crap and they never have a problem. But those aren't really experienced people, because you talk to any experienced engine builder and they're all saying, fuck flat tappet stuff. We built a lot of flat tappet stuff for a lot of years when the stuff was kind of commercially available. It was being put in, automotive engines and stuff right from the factory. Here's something I found. We're going to try something today and we'll let you know later. We'll follow up or whatever on this one. But this is something we kind of went through. So this is a lifter that came out of an engine as I came out of a Marine 454. It had less than 90 minutes of runtime on it. I think it's a Melling lifter. We didn't do the motor. It came from a shop down the road. Motor went in the boat. Guy ran it for not very long, and he's doing the motor again. So that's the junk we're dealing with these days. This is an old lifter that come out of an engine we just tore down. We actually needed a block and tore this engine completely apart. And like, this lifter is almost perfect. And I'm actually at the point now where I'm keeping good old lifters. If I need to put one lifter in a motor, which, if it's done that, the cam's fucked, but let's say wouldn't collapse or wouldn't pump up or something like that, I'll put a used lifter in before I put a new lifter in, unless I can get a good lifter that I know is good. So anyways, here's a brand new set of lifters from Howard's Cams. Again, most companies don't make their own stuff. Especially when it comes to lifters. I don't think Howard's has a lifter factory. I don't think Comp Cams has a lifter factory. I don't think Melling has a lifter factory. So these things are all coming from wherever they come from. And this is what they look like. And I've scoured and I cannot find where it says where they're made. And typically, if something doesn't say where it's made, you can tell where it's made. So this doesn't look bad. It's got the chamfer all around. It's some nice grinding, right? I haven't Rockwell tested. I'm not going to bother. But one thing I want you to note is that that's one piece. Obviously, it's got its plunger and stuff inside of it, but the exterior of the lifter is one piece. Now I go back to this lifter from the 90s, I'm going to guess, and the one that lived for 20 some odd 30 years. And dimensionally, they're the same, But look at this face here. This is a different material than this. I would surmise that this is a harder material. This is the good stuff. And this maybe isn't. We look at this one here, and you can tell that it's one of these same kind of style one-piece lifters coming from... Those aren't exactly the same, but they're coming from the same shithole. So, anyways, I was about to put these lifters in this motor, roll the dice, load them up with zinc and all this shit. And again, I talk about roller cams, and putting a roller cam in a big block Chevy is going to cost you $1,000. Cam and lifters anyways. A flat tappet cam and lifters is going to be $300. But then you got to run this fancy oil. You're supposed to play games with valve springs and do a break-in and all this shit. And if it works, I'm going to say $500 less to go flat tappet than roller. If it lives. If it doesn't live, you get to build your motor again and you've just lost whatever you saved, and then you're probably buying a roller anyways. But here I am, not taking my own advice. We're building a flat tappet. It's a very, very mild big block Chevy, cast heads, nothing fancy. Should be able to do that in today's... So I'm not going to put those in. Again, I started rummaging. I was actually looking for some used lifters. I was going to maybe look at getting them reground. I looked at a bunch of stuff. And I come across these. These are brand new lifters, GM Performance parts. So they call them like an extreme duty or heavy duty lifter, whatever that means. And you can see right here, country of origin, USA. And then you look at this stuff here, and they don't say where it's made. And I can guarantee you, if it was made in Germany or the European Union or Czech Republic, Australia, Canada, USA, they'd write it on the box, right? This thing's, right? But if they don't put the name on it, it's because they don't want you to know. So anyways, there's a set of these. They're about $200, I want to say, a little less than $200. But they're general GM performance parts, genuine part. They really look a lot like this old lifter does. We're going to load them up with assembly grease. We're going to run some zinc on the cam. We're like 130 pounds on the seat. So it's not like we're going... Actually, we're 115 on the seat. 115 on the seat. Nothing crazy. We'll see if they live. We're doing everything we possibly can, but I want you guys to see this. This is as close to the old lifters we used to be able to get as I could physically find. We're going to try to get this thing on the dyno this week. If you see us doing videos tearing apart a motor with a bad cam, then these were junk. If you don't, then maybe we got a winner here. But for a few bucks more, I'd be trying these before I try these. And if anybody wants to buy a set of lifters, I got them here. I'll sell them to you freaking cheap. No warranty implied or otherwise expressed. Thanks everybody for watching. Remember, I'm going to drop these in here. Here's my fancy soaky wokey thing. Soaking them in high zinc break-in oil. Let them sit for a few hours. We'll drop them in the motor and run over. I was actually playing with a used lifter, just doing some valve geometry stuff and figuring out what we got. Like I said, pretty mild. Big block, it'll make 400 horsepower, bloody frickin' daw, but it'll 400 horse at like 500 foot-pounds. It'll be just fine if it as long as the cam lives, and we'll go from there. But anyways, thanks a lot for watching. Remember, like I said, if it's worth doing twice.